Not good. Not good at all. So this is the bodge we did at the track. Just bodged it with some cable ties, because I think what we found out was that by using the stock rubbers for the exhaust, you ended up with it rubbing here, so you can see the damage to some of the nuts. More importantly though, the damage to the exhaust where that was hitting. So I've got this aftermarket rubber system here, which hopefully will be much better and longer than that one and give the appropriate length. I was messing around down here. I wanted to test the oxygen sensor and see what it looked like. And I moved the coil out of the way. So put it back again, and now it doesn't fire up at all. Or it fired up very briefly, sounded like a bag of spanners, and then cut out. So I don't know if that's the engine dead. So I'll show you what I mean. Doesn't sound good, does it? I investigated the problems we had on the track the other day. It's not good news. The compression test is as follows. I've written it on this bit of wood. Cylinder, I'll go with cylinder 1 last, and you'll find out why. Cylinder 2, 190. Cylinder 3, 190, cylinder 4, 170, cylinder 170. Not 170, 70. So that means the pressure is extremely low, the compression is extremely low in cylinder number 1. I've done the leak down test, and we're getting air rushing out of these intakes here, which means I think it's the intake valves that are stuck open, or there's some other sort of pretty major engine issue there. Not good. Not good at all. I did the leak down test whilst I was there on cylinder number 4. We're getting the air rushing out of the oil filler caps, which means that it's going past the piston rings. So you can kind of hear it coming out of here, and the dipstick tube. Ooh. Getting oil out of the dipstick tube, and air is rushing out of here, which means it is going past the piston rings. So the options I've got here, noting that the problems with cylinder number 1 seem to be with the cylinder head rather than the block or the bottom end, and the fact that cylinder number 4 is slightly down on compression but within tolerance. So the tolerance level is 28 psi, and it is within 20 psi, so it's just about within tolerance. I'm not going to create the fastest race car in the world, but we're talking about costs here. So this is the difference between a cost of a replacement engine versus the cost of another cylinder head. Just to get this on the track, I might just get this cylinder head done. You can see the difference in piston number 1 there. So it's pretty clear the engine has suffered some sort of damage. It could be pre-ignition, could be knock, detonation, pinging. All these terms are something I'm not particularly familiar with, but I kind of know that what the piston looks like is not what it should look like. There are a few potential causes of that. One of those is fuel pressure, maybe causing a lean condition, which is causing the engine damage. So before I put everything back together again, or before I get a new engine, I just want to check that the fuel pressure in the system is accurate. I've got one of these fuel pressure parts things, and I've connected up the intake manifold to the fuel system again, and I'm just going to run it from the diagnostic port on the MX-5. That will just see whether or not I'm getting the right fuel pressure in the system, and if I'm not getting the right fuel pressure, that's a fuel pump or it's a blockage somewhere, something that I have to sort out. So I'm going to run the test, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, we're going to try it with the return line clamped. It's not the fuel pump and it's not the fuel system, so the fuel system is giving the fuel rail enough pressure. There could be other issues, of course, but at least I know that that's not the issue. I don't really understand. Oh, dear.